too special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. 33 years of prison stories. We rocking, we rolling, man. We trying to keep this message going. We trying to keep this positive energy flowing. So appreciate everybody who been rocking with me, everybody who done tuned in, everybody that done went to my other platforms. Much love, much love. It is appreciated. Wow, man, this is a lot right here, man. Today, you know, I want to talk about, man, one of the worst things that can happen to you while you're incarcerated. There's a lot of bad things that can happen to you while you're incarcerated. But to me, personally, like one of the worst things that can happen to you is for you to go in the system and, you know, do what you have to do, establish yourself, you know, set your mark and enforce it, and let people know where you stand about certain things. Which, you know, what's your what's your characteristics, what's your, you know, overall, you know, personality, and what you're going for and what you ain't going for, and you know, you stand on that. You know what I'm saying? 10 toes down, no matter what. Whatever you got to do, you do. You know, because you in survival mode when you in prison, man. You in straight survival mode. It's like it's like in the jungle, man, for real. You know, in the jungle, you know, animals, you know, and I hate to compare us to animals because we are treated like animals. But in the jungle, you know, animals don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a choice. They, you know, they fight when they have to fight. They don't run. They fight. You know what I'm saying? And if you lose, you die. You know, and that's kind of like it is in prison. You know, if you lose, you die. You know, or get close to it. You know, so you know, you fight to win at all costs, and you try to preserve your life. You know, so when you carry it the way you carry it, and you just, you know, be a man, and you stand up for what you believe in, and you stand up for your own safety, and you stand up for your own, you know, standards and well-being, then people gonna respect that. You know what I'm saying? But people also gonna hate that. They also gonna hate you. You know, especially if they can't, you know, impose their will on you. And that goes both ways. That goes by the administration, and it goes by, you know, the convicts and inmates. They gonna hate you if they can't impose their will on you, because you got your own will. You got your own way of doing things. You got your own way of, you know, standing up for yourself. And they not gonna like that. But they can't do nothing about it, you know, besides hate you. You know what I'm saying? And hate don't kill you. You know what I'm saying? It don't kill you. So, but one of the worst things that can happen to you is for you to carry like that, man, and you have a long sentence, or, you know, you don't know when you getting out, and, you know, you don't get out before you get old. Because when you get old in there, man, it's gonna be full circle, man. Them same dudes that feared you, now they, you know, seek to harm you. That same administration that respected you because of your stance, now they disrespect you. You know, so that's one of the worst things that could happen to you in prison, man, is to walk your path under your own terms, and then to get old in there, and you lose your, you know, your physical capabilities, right? Because as I told y'all from the beginning when I first started this YouTube thing, I told you it's a universal language in prison. This a universal language all over the world. You can go to any country in the world and you may not speak their language, but they all over the world understand violence. If you ball your fists up when you talking and you put a certain, they know what you talking about, even if they don't speak your language. You understand? So violence is a universal language, and it is most definitely the language of the penitentiary. Because all that talking, ain't nobody gonna understand that. All that running your mouth and that jaw jacking, and you know what I'm saying, that woofing, and you know, pulling butt, and they don't care nothing about that. You gonna have to produce, and once they know you can produce, then that's when the respect gonna come in. You know, that's when the fear gonna come in, because they fear what you may do to them if they cross you, if they, do something that's some larceny or some flammery or some, skullduggery or some, a straight tomfoolery. They fear the repercussions, what I'm saying, the consequences. They fear that. And that keeps you at bay, but every now and then you're going to have one that come along, they want to be, Billy Bad, but, what I'm saying, they're going to try you anyway, and then that's when you're going to have to demonstrate, but when you live your life like that under your own terms, under these conditions, you're going to have a great amount of hate, a great amount of envy for dudes who can't stand up like that because they feel, failure. They feel if they carry it like that, then somebody might carry it like that times two. It might carry them out. You know what I'm saying? So they just choose to be, docile, to be meek, and to be, what I'm saying, just to take their chances. But, when you get old, and that's how you done carried it, and you done been in the penitentiary 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and so on and so forth, because Virginia will drag you just like that. You know what I'm saying? And that happens, and you came in with a certain attitude, and then you done lay down the law, and people know who you are. Your name ring bells over the system, like, oh, this such and such, or what I'm saying, or this Sam Pitts, what I'm saying, or this George Lee Flight, or this Shorty Pimp, or this Cupcake, or this Wink Wink, or this Bo Billy, what I'm saying. People know that, and when they know that, they respect that. They respect the name. Even if they don't know you, they know that name because you have made that name, more or less, popular in prison. You done made it, and what's attached to it is your pedigree. What you do, the work you done put in, the no nonsense, the I ain't going for nothing. That's attached to your name. That's your brand in penitentiary. So when you done built that brand, and this is what people know when they heard your name, that's the first thing come to their mind. When you heard Bo Billy name in prison, you gonna hear, oh yeah, he ain't to be played with. Oh yeah, he a warrior. Oh yeah, he'll hurt you. Oh yeah, this is attached to his name because of the way he lived his life and the way he carried it in that penitentiary. And some people not gonna like that. Some people, gonna respect that. Some people gonna disrespect that. But at the same time, when he was in his prime and when he was, at full capacity, whatever disagreements they had with him or whatever they didn't like about it, you can almost lay flat and believe they won't gonna tell him. You understand me? They won't gonna tell him because he was no nonsense and he ain't pick and choose. Whoever the battle was with, that's who he was ready to go with. But yeah, but I say all of that to say, man, I always said that, and I knew that. I learned that early, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out the penitentiary before you get old. Because if you carry it under your own terms and you get old, man, it's going to come back at you. And I say that to say because I got some sad news recently, about Beau. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, as y'all know, Beau is 67 years old. You know what I'm saying? His eyesight is bad. He just had some gallstones taken out. He just had gallstone surgery. So his health is declining. His physical capabilities is declining. You know what I'm saying? Is his heart still the same? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And his mouth still the same? Absolutely. Because that's a part of his DNA. That's a part of who he is. Everything that he used to say out his mouth, he can bring that to fruition. If he tell you he gonna break your neck, he can, physically break your neck. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time. But that's, Father Time is undefeated. You can't beat Father Time. Father Time defeats us all. When you get old, you get old. Your capabilities start to decline. Your abilities start to decline. And that's the state that Beau is in now. So, to my understanding, recently, he was sitting somewhere in the block, man, after he had got off the phone, was sitting somewhere, and the inmate came up behind him and knocked him off from where he was sitting at. And, in order for him to try to protect his gallstones that he just had surgery on, he tried to turn or whatever and landed on his side, and there he broke his hip. So he's now in recovery from a broken hip right now and gallstones, at, almost 70 years old, with, declining health and declining eyesight and all of this, this is what goes on in the penitentiary. This is the philosophy that I, been preaching to y'all for almost 2 years. That don't nobody care about you when you in there. You know what I'm saying? It's just an unforgiving environment. It's an unforgiving, atmosphere. And yeah, some people would say, well, Beau did this or Beau did that. And you know what Beau would say? Because he said it to me. And they said, well, Beau used to take advantage of people. Beau used to do this. Beau used to do that. And Beau used to say, how am I take advantage of anybody? Everybody came in the penitentiary for their crime that they committed. And they in here just like I'm in here. No matter if he in here for stealing a piece of bubble gum and he in here for stealing a car. If he in here for assault or he in here for murder. We all up in here. So how am I take advantage of anybody? Everybody is in here as a man. You know what I'm saying? They are man. So he is capable of doing whatever I'm doing and vice versa. He put his pants on like I put my pants on. He bleed like I bleed. He breathe like I breathe. He got to eat to live and poop to stay alive just like I do. So how am I taking advantage of anybody? One may say, well, he weak. Well, he committed a crime to get in here knowing that he was weak. That's the way you have to look at the situation. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people will disagree with that. A lot of people will say this, that, third. But this is the nature of the environment. And when you really break it down, what he's saying is correct. Everybody know where they at. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know where he at. So how can you say somebody is weak? He's a man. And if he is weak or if he choose not to, stick up for himself, that's what you call it. That's a choice. That's a choice because every man can protect himself if he choose to. If he loses his life in the process, if he get hurt in the process, that is the same thing that could happen to anybody in there. Beau, me, whoever. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of what you willing to stand up for and what you willing to do to protect yours. You know what I'm saying? But that got to come from within. So, like I said, if you in prison, I don't want to say all the time because I know people that's been in prison that's been innocent. But if you're in prison, then that means there is a victim of a crime somewhere. So we all are held under the same, umbrella. We all broke the law to some extent, no matter how high or no matter how low. So this is the consequences for breaking that law. So when you enter this environment, this is the type of environment that you're entering. You're entering an environment where it ain't nothing guaranteed. It ain't nothing promised. Only thing that's promised is you gonna do that time. You know what I'm saying? One way or another, you know what I'm saying? You gonna do that time and you just have to survive that experience, So yeah, man. So, I do know, you know what I'm saying, like I say, from the information that I do got, that, he recovering, he going through what he going through. And hopefully he gonna get better, you know what I'm saying? But I know that this right here, that whatever happened to him and whoever did it, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it, and not even knowing the full circumstances, that it was a cowardly act. Because to my understanding, they came up from behind him and pushed him when he was unaware. But in the same token, the Beau that I knew when I was locked up, you be hard pressed to try to find somebody to attack him, even from the blind side, because they feared the repercussion. You know what I'm saying? They feared the repercussion. The reputation was already solidified. This is not a myth. This is not a what you call him, a folk tale or urban legend, man. He done put the work in, and they know that he will put that work in. So people who doing that now, this is a younger generation. These are glory seekers. These are reputation seekers. These are young dudes who want to be able to say, oh yeah, well I beat up Beau Billy, or yeah, or I beat up Sam Pitts, or yeah, or when you heard somebody say, yeah, man, Sam Pitts, oh yeah, that was a heck of a dude back in the day. He was there. Oh man, I beat him up. Or Beau Billy, yeah, he was like that, man. Dude, man, I knocked Beau Billy out. Yeah, if you were able to say that, you will be able to say that, and you're not telling the whole story. You'll be able to say, oh yeah, I did it when he was 70, when he was 67. Or when he was sick, or in Sam Pitt, or when he was sick and he weighed 100 pounds, when he want the Rock Sam Pitts, when he want the hulking, 6'3", 6'4", 240-pound monster that he was, when he had declined from lupus down to 100 pounds and fingers amputated and toes amputated and teeth falling out and he walking on the cane, of course you probably could have smacked him. You probably could have knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? But had you tried that when he was who he was, then, you wouldn't even be here to tell the story about it. And the same with Beau. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from what I know to be reality because I was there. You know what I'm saying? I've heard these dudes' name before I even met these dudes. Their reputation preceded them. And when I met them, they lived up to the hype of what the people said they was. You see what I'm saying? So like I say, but now you got these young cats in the penitentiary, man, and they scared to death themselves. So, they seeking to get a reputation off you. They seeking to steal your legacy by trying to harm you. Never ever in a million years would they have had the heart to try that when you were who you became to be. Yeah, so this is the new wave of the penitentiary, man. This is the biggest threat to dudes who have done their time, man, 10 toes in the dirt, because the administration is more or less on their side, you know what I'm saying? Because that's why they ain't let you go. That's why they ain't, cut the chains on you yet, because of the way you carried it, the way that you did not allow your will to be bent, the way that you didn't allow your principles to be, distorted. The way you stood on your word and stood on your, what you believed in without wavering. They don't like that because you was not able to be broken. You understand? So when you're not able to be broken, then they sit around and wait for you to break. So when you old and you feeble, you got some of them dudes, especially I know, like I've been up in the mountains in situations where I've seen older dudes that's more or less, on the decline of who they was and had mean reputations. I seen younger dudes try them or swing on them or gang members and stuff like that when they wouldn't have never even contemplated that had they been in the penitentiary. Some of these dudes are young enough, that they in the penitentiary and trying these things to try to get a reputation. The dudes that they're trying to whip was in the penitentiary before they was even born. You know what I'm saying? Before they was even born. But they know that name. You know what I'm saying? Doc Holliday. You know what I'm saying? I seen Doc get older, and R.I.P. Doc now. But Doc was a mean cuss in his day and want to be played with. But in this older age, dudes trying to. I seen dudes that do it to be unsuccessful. You know what I'm saying? I seen dudes, I told y'all a story, dudes try spook dust, who been in the penitentiary probably 1 year longer than Beau, who's from the same place Beau is from, Portsmouth. You know what I'm saying? So I seen him try him with his mouth verbally, and he ended up, catching the train to the hospital, because he almost lost his life. Playing with older dudes, playing with dudes who don't have the time, to be negotiating with you or to be sitting up there jaw-jacking with you. Them dudes gonna hurt you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what your intent is for them, is to bring them bodily harm. So like I said, but Father Time is undefeated, man. You can't beat Father Time. When you start to get old, your body will start to give out on you. No matter what, the older you get, even if you try to stay in shape, you're not going to defeat Father Time. And they got some older dudes in shape. I knew plenty of older dudes in shape. But at the same time, like I say, time will creep up on you, and you get in your 60s and 70s. I mean, come on. I mean, we just got to be realistic. So, like I say, that's one of the ills of doing time, man. If you do it on your own terms, man, you need to hope and pray that you will be able to see the other side of that gate.
The Banky special. Yeah, pure deliciousness. Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.